Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post my new videos every week. So this topic is something that I've been debating about doing for a very, very long time. Hard gels. I didn't feel that I was proficient enough a while ago to discuss hard gels. Do I want to talk about something that that's not my strongest suit? Acrylic is my strongest suit. And also, I feel that there's other videos out there. However, you guys have requested it. Do you have a video on hard gels? Can you do a video on hard gels? I need some help in hard gels. So, you asked, I deliver. So I'm here to discuss all things hard gels. But it was so much information that I decided to make this a full series. So for the entire month of February, we are going to be talking about all things hard gel. So if you are somebody that's doing hard gel already, maybe you need a little help and a little assistance. Maybe it's something that you never even thought about or never worked with. Maybe it's something that you wanted to try, but you were a little hesitant like I was for many, many years. We're gonna get into all of that stuff. So we're gonna be talking about supplies. What are hard gels? Basic application, repairs, extensions, nail art, manicures, you name it, we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna be doing the entire month, all things hard gel. But for right now, we're gonna be talking about the basic information. What are hard gels in this intro to gels video right now? So before we get into any of that, the teacher in me has to give you a little background history on gels. So what are hard gels? What are UV gels exactly? So let's take it back to chemistry just for a second and let's break down the chemical composition of exactly what hard gels are. Hard gels are a part of the acrylates family. So if that's a little like, you're like, what are you talking about? I have a video where I break down, I'll leave a link above, where I break down the differences and similarities between all the different types of enhancements. So maybe you want to check out that video and then kind of come back over here so you know what I mean by the acrylates family, meaning that it is a family that is in the same family group as acrylics and everything else. They contain monomers, but they mostly rely on a chemical called oligomers. Oligomers are short chains of monomers that are not long enough to be considered a polymer. Nail enhancement monomers and polymers are solid. Solid oligomers are kind of the in-between, which gives it a thick, gel-like, sticky consistency. Hence, UV gels. UV gels also rely on a special ingredient called urethane acrylate or urethane metaacrylate. And these are the main ingredients that are used to compose UV gel enhancements. The chemical family of urethanes are known for their high abrasion resistance and durability. This is why gels are just as durable as acrylic nails and how they're able to last due to this special ingredient. UV gels are known to react when they are exposed to UV or LED light. So this is a chemical that is called a photoinitiator, which is going to help create the polymerization or curing or hardening, and the reaction starts to begin. And this is also how they differ from other enhancements, is because UV gels need that UV or LED light to help the polymerization process start, whereas acrylics or monomer liquids and polymer powders don't. When those two chemicals meet, that's when the polymerization happens. UV gels, it only happens when it goes underneath the light. So you can kind of work with it, mold it and everything, and nothing happens or sets or cures until you go underneath the UV light. So that's the main difference of how that chemical reaction starts. So there are so many different types of gels. It can be a little overwhelming. If you're somebody that's not into UV gels or hard gels, you're like, I don't know what brand to trust. I don't know what to buy. It's so many different types of gels. So let's get into the different types of gels that you might come across. But you should always look into all options when it comes to brands and products to know what would be best for you as a nail tech and best for your clients before you begin doing anything. So just know that all different types of gels are always going to fall into 4 main categories. So we have a thin, medium, and thick viscosity, and building or sculpting. All gels are going to fall within those categories. So now let's take a look at some of the different types of gels that you're going to come in contact with. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is UV bonding gels. So these are basically used to increase adhesion before you begin your application. Very similar to a primer. Sometimes it needs to be cured underneath a UV or LED light, and sometimes it doesn't. So this is an example of your UV bonding gel. So this I have from IBD, and we see that it says bonder. Let's get it to focus. And then we have something that you guys are all familiar with, Young Nails Protein Bond. So while you're thinking like, oh, I use that all the time. Yes, you do. You use it for your acrylic applications, but this is definitely, it's still considered a type of bonding gel. So the second one that I want to talk about is UV building gels. This is any thick viscosity gel that's going to be used to give you some type of structure to your nail enhancement. They have a hardness and a durability that's going to be very similar to your monomer liquid and polymer powder enhancements. So UV building gels can look kind of like this. So this one, we have a pink building gel, and we can see the viscosity of it is a little thick. It's not as thick, but this is a little bit on the thicker side. And then we have something that might come like this. We have a precision tube. So basically this is a clear sculpting. So usually building and sculpting gels will tell you builder, sculpt. If you are somebody that's doing this to build your nail enhancement, you're going to need some type of sculpting or building. So this one is a little bit thicker. I'll let that run. You can see how thick that is. It didn't even drop yet. So this is a little bit thick. We need it for that. And then also you'll find builder gels now in a bottle where it's still going to give you that durability, but it's super easy to work with. And it comes in a bottle. If you are a beginner tech, I definitely recommend, I started backwards. I definitely recommend maybe working with a builder gel, maybe to kind of give your natural nail clients some type of durability. This is really, really good. This is from Born Pretty. I have a video. I'll leave a link below with my link to this. And I love this. I've been working with it on several different clients in different ways, tips, natural nails, enhancements, fixes and repairs and all that stuff. And it's really, really good. So if you are beginning to mess around with gels, the traditional pot could be a little bit harder to work with because you're picking it up and kind of molding it that way. Whereas the precision tube, it kind of comes right out and you can do it all. You don't really need a brush if you're going to work with a precision tube. But the brush on gel in builder form, I do find very easy for new techs. So the third one that we have is UV self-leveling gels. So these are used to enhance the thickness of other gels while still providing like a smooth surface than a building gel. So building gel, you would place on the nail and it's going to stay in that blob for the most part and you have to work it. Self-leveling gels go onto the nail and they automatically level themselves out. So we have some techs that prefer to use self-leveling gel as a first layer and then building gel as a second layer. Then we have some techs that like the building gel first and they like to end with a self-leveling gel. So a type of self-leveling gel would be your base gel. So base gel is something that we place onto the nail before we begin anything. Usually it will be marked base, but base is a type of self-leveling gel. So this is the first layer. We apply a thin coat of base on top of the primer, and this is also going to help protect the nail again once it goes into that UV or LED light before we use our self-leveling or our building gel. So base gel is very thin. Let's see if I can, and you can just take a look at the viscosity of this. And you see it's very runny. And this is again base, but it is a type of self-leveling gel. Then we have a different type right here. This is Flex from Young Nails again. And this is clear, thin. So you see this one just runs and runs and runs. So these are self-leveling. As soon as you put them on the nail, they're automatically gonna smooth and even themselves out onto the nail. So the fourth one that we have are pigmented gels. So pigmented gels have a little color. That's all that means. It's gels that have color in them. they can be either self-leveling or building gels. So that's also something if you want to offer colored gels to your clients. Are we building with them? Are we going to have self-leveling? Or are we purchasing both? So a type of color gel would be, let's say this. So this is a thick viscosity. You see, I can just hold it. It's not going anywhere. This is a building white gel that you can kind of see. So if I'm doing an ombre or a pink and white, we can use it for that. So this is a building pigmented white gel. Also, again, I have the precision tube and they come in colors. So this is a concealer peach from Young Nails. This is a building gel that is also pigmented. You can see that it has like a little peach hue to it. And I really like the colored building gels. I just find that most of my clients, for me anyway, again, do what works for you and your clients. I find that they like a little bit of a nude. It's just like if most people are going to do a nude background, it saves me the trouble of using nude gel polish. So I just I prefer to use concealer peach, or they have a concealer pink in the precision tube. So again, it can be self-leveling or it can be building gels, but pigmented as well. Then the fifth one that we have is something that you are all too familiar with, is UV gel polish. Yes, it's still a UV product. It is gel polish. So we all know what UV gel polish looks like. We know that it's better and more efficient than the traditional polishes. It needs to dry underneath a UV or LED light. It comes in colors. We have base, we have top coat, we have all that stuff. So we have gel polishes that come in color. So that's another type of a UV gel. And lastly, we have UV gloss gels. So what qualifies as a gloss gel? Something, again, that you are all too familiar with, that you've been using this whole time. This is something that we place on top of the nail as a finishing product, a sealant, or any type of gloss or shine, aka a top coat. So your top coats that you use for gel polishes, these are gloss gels. Again, we know that they don't require any type of buffing or anything. Once applied, it needs to cure underneath the UV or LED light, and we can use this for any enhancement across the board. So there are two different types of gloss gels. So we have a traditional gloss gel, which is going to cure with a sticky or inhibition layer. So way back when in the day, when I first started doing UV gels and we had UV gel top coat, we had to wipe the nail with alcohol. So that's a traditional top coat. Whereas, so we have this one here from Madame Glam, and this actually cures with an inhibition layer. So it's a little bit sticky. I have to wipe it with some swipe or some alcohol afterwards. Then they started coming out with, you'll notice it says no wipe gel top coat. That's where that comes in. So we have something like this, which is just my regular Beetles top coat. And this just cures. It comes out the machine. Boom, it's done. I don't have to wipe it. So the traditional one was something that first came out. But again, if you are buying top coat, you may start to notice, just because I'm saying it to you, you probably won't start to notice. It says no wipe. So sometimes, most of them are no wipe now, but some of them specify no wipe. I guess if the manufacturer does produce a wipe and no wipe one, they will label it that way. If the company does not have a traditional gloss gel, all their gels, all their top coats are probably just going to be labeled top coat. Then we have something that could be a little bit different labeled. So we have Young Nails. This is stain resistant gel top coat from Young Nails. Again, it's still just gel top coat. So this is just what they choose to call theirs. It's the same consistency as regular top coat. So again, all three of these are considered UV gloss gels, aka top coats. So now that we've talked about the different types of gels, the question you might be asking yourself is, okay, so when do I offer gels to people? Which clients do I offer gels? Which clients that I already have that maybe I can switch over to gels? So in the next video, I'm going to be going over when is the appropriate time to offer your clients gels, and how do we know who to switch over to gels from acrylics if need be. And also I'm going to be showing you some basic application methods when it comes to hard gels. So if you are not subscribed, go hit subscribe, hit like, and I will see you in part 2 of the hard gel series next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.